Yes.
Welcome to the
Welcome,
episode
everybody.
8.
Ooh.
That's already an 8th episode, and no
crazy.
one's been watching. I mean, I'm kidding. There's a couple thousand views.
There is.
But
yeah,
today we have a very special guest.
we do.
We very special guest, an entrepreneur,
Ooh, he said.
a person
Yes.
that is running services that you're all familiar with. Founder of maybe potentially founder of Indie Shuffle, and then I already did my research, late 2015, launching SubmitHub. Jason Grishkoff.
That's an easy one though. That's just in the footer of the website.
Shut up.
I mean,
Did my research.
I did my research just before that, So now we know everything about Jason. He's done Indie Shuffle and SubmitHub. But yeah.
cool. So it's been good. I'll catch you guys later.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah.
What is it? 420. Where's my joint?
It's four. By the way, today is a very special date for anyone who's interested. It's 420, 420, 420, 2020, 420. I don't know if you know that.
Really? Wow.
Ooh, who could it be?
We're gonna cut that one out.
Yeah, we're gonna cut
I
that.
don't think so.
All right. So, Jason, tell us a little bit about yourself. What is your day to day?
Yeah.
In these-
Wow.
Yeah.
What are you
Are
doing?
we done? We're done with the girlfriend phone call, yeah?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
done with our phone call. Yeah, we're gonna watch a movie
yes.
later with her. But yeah, sure.
Okay. I mean, that takes priority. It takes priority. This is just fun.
Yeah.
What do I do
Yes.
day to day right now?
Yeah.
Well, we've been on lockdown since the end of March. We're not allowed to buy alcohol.
Ooh.
We're not allowed to buy cigarettes.
Oh,
That's okay.
man.
I don't smoke.
That's all right. Cool.
We're not allowed to go running. I'm not allowed to walk the dog. I'm not allowed to leave the house
man.
unless you're buying groceries. And I got a 6-month-old and a 2.5-year-old
Oh.
in the house. So things are pretty crazy. My day to day used to be, wake up, take care of the kids, nanny shows up, then I get to work from like 8 to 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now my day is don't get to work from 8 to 5, but do get to take care of kids. And even though there are 2 of us here, both kids are a handful. So at this point, I kind of work in the evenings,
Yeah.
do little
Right.
videos and podcasts like this, but coding is kind of dropping off a cliff, and that's where I should be coding.
Right. Okay.
Because
Yeah, I like coding.
if you didn't know, Jason has built the entirety of SubmitHub by himself.
Well,
if I'm correct.
yeah, I mean, it's built on architecture developed by other smarter people than me.
Yeah.
But no other developer has been involved in SubmitHub.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, built it up from the ground, and it's still updating all day, every day. Like some pretty cool updates went out today for artists around the hot or not stuff. I've been doing a lot of stuff around that lately. And that's
okay.
blowing up. It's close to almost 20,000 votes a day on hot or not. So
Very interesting. Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
right. Didn't
I haven't
it's-
been using that feature too much. It was
Well, why would you? You probably got too much else on your plate
yeah,
with the normal submissions.
yeah. I literally yesterday I've done 65.
Oh man. Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were from 2 days, but I was just like, I just want to finish this, so I have
Yeah.
an entire day tomorrow
Yeah.
when I don't have to do it, because like I'm just gonna wait for 24 hours. It's all fine, and then by the way, let's actually enlighten people what SubmitHub actually is
Right.
and why. I believe I've been using a couple of different services. I've been using my own website, my own submission solution, some other services briefly, but I think that when I actually landed on SubmitHub and I started using it extensively, it kind of made everything easier. Plus, it made everything for me worthwhile. And I would like Jason to explain how that was done, that it is so simple for me or for other curators, and that how does it make it worthwhile for those curators?
All right. Well, I think the simplest answer is that I myself am one of the curators, and I think a lot of the alternatives out there are managed and created by people who understand the concept but aren't themselves curators, and so they don't actually live in the trenches. So high level, if someone doesn't know what SubmitHub is or why it exists, I'll give you a bit of context, and that'll just land you right into boom, here's why SubmitHub is what it is. So I started music blogging about 12 years ago, and that means that I had a music blog during the peak of music blogging, which was 2008 until to about 2013.
Nice.
And one of the side effects of having a popular music blog at the time was that we were constantly getting hammered by people who wanted a piece of our time. So they were all hoping that we would provide coverage for them, and there were artists, major labels, publicists, etc., etc., etc. And eventually it got to the point that I'm sure you guys can relate to, where it just gets so overwhelming, and you're getting hundreds of emails every day, and you just decide, fuck it, I'm just not even gonna look anymore, right?
Yep.
And you don't, because for starters, you're probably not making your living off your blog. It's more of a hobby. Maybe it buys you a couple beers here and there, but you just can't spend hours every day sifting through emails that have, like, one's got an attachment, one's got a SoundCloud link, the other one's like, I don't know, who the fuck knows, right?
Yeah.
It's all over the place. And so in 2015, I decided that in light of the fact that my music blog's revenue was completely drying up, it was probably a good idea to think through an alternative business model. So that's when I started to tinker with the idea of creating a simple submission form for people to send music to curators. Super simple: artist name, song title, here's your streaming source, you hit play, and then from my side, it doesn't matter what they use, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, whatever, it all just comes through looking the same, and I got a thumb up, thumb down. Thumb up meant I like it, I'm gonna blog it. Thumb down meant better luck next time.
There you go.
And so what I rolled out in 2015 was super simple, and I reached out to a few other blogs who I was friends with and had communicated with, and asked them if they wanted to test it out, and they said, yeah, that sounds interesting. So I quickly hacked together like the ability to have multiple different profiles on there, and I think by month 2 we had at least 10 blogs signed up using it. And so if you were a user, you could go in and choose which ones you want to send to. You had 2 credits you could use every 4 hours. You'd have to come back, and that was just to force people to think about who they were going to send to, rather than just select all and send.
Right.
And yeah, it was running smoothly, and so people then would start to go, cool, well, I mean, I sent you my song, I can see you listen, you said thumbs down, why? It's like, well, if you give me $1, I'll tell you why.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
So the idea really caught on, though, because people were like, actually, yeah, that's great. And I also said, cool, well, I mean, if you're going to use these premium credits, then we can get rid of the 2 submissions every 4 hours limit. You get it. I mean, however many credits you have is how many submissions you can send, and you're going to get some guarantees. So you use the premium credit, you're going to get a response in 48 hours, minimum listen time of 20 seconds. And at least 10 words of feedback that sort of demonstrates that the person listened and gives you some understanding of why they took a pause. So to summarize, SubmitHub was a product meant to solve a problem I had with Indie Shuffle. And I think one of the reasons that it does it so well is that it's specifically built for the problem. I mean, I had firsthand experience dealing with it, and so I was able to just solve that for myself.
I love that.
Whereas a lot of people came in and tried to solve it for other people without they themselves being the users. So that's it.
Very
Does that answer the question?
Very smart. Indeed you did.
Cool.
It's a very, I'm actually on the other computer, I can see it right now, and you can see it as well. Submissions are just in one row from top to bottom. Everything is simple. I can see the genre, I can see the artist name, I can see the name of the song. I can hit play. I can say that I like it, where I'm going to share it. I can say that I don't like it, why I don't. So it's a very simple, very nice way to organize those submissions. Plus, the incentive of getting a little bit of a compensation for each and every submission makes it worthwhile, I would say. The bigger you are, the more submissions you get, obviously, and then it gets into a realm of actually making some okay money. Okay, extra money, I would say, per curator.
Right.
Some people...
Most curators are making about $150 a month. I actually ran the numbers recently. And it's not until you get to the top 10% where you start to see numbers above $1,000 a month. So I'll give you an example. Indie Shuffle is one of the largest outlets on SubmitHub
Right.
in terms of reach and influence, and I'm obviously very biased there. But we are making probably $700, $800 a month from SubmitHub. And part of that is because we've been really selective about which genres we have enabled. Like we could open up the funnel and probably push our number towards 1,500 or more.
Yeah.
But for the vast majority of people, they're earning, it basically breaks down to about $10 an hour and $150 to $200 a month. So that's, I think, there's often a misconception that the bloggers are just on here trying to get rich and declining everything and moving along to the next song. And I get it. For many artists, it can feel like that, right? You send your music off and 99% of people reject it. And the only one who says yes is a Spotify playlister who has like a 75% approval rate and doesn't move the needle. So I understand the frustration and it's definitely one of the biggest complaints we have to deal with. But at the end of the day, the reality is that we're not getting curators are not getting rich off this unless they live in a country where you can stretch $150 way further, like Poland or South Africa, or we got there's a couple of curators from India who are making $100 to $200 a month and they're paying for themselves and their families.
That's India.
Wow.
Yeah,
but I mean, do you want to live in a place where it's like that? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I guess
Poland is kind of like in the middle. I would say that for one person making about $800 a month is enough to live or get by.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Get by more like it. Live decently, not really.
Probably not going to buy.
Probably not going to what?
Buy a house.
Oh no,
buy a house? No.
Unless you take a loan for 50 years.
Yeah.
Sounds like America though. That's the same thing anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I've been having around the last couple of months. I've been having around 500, 550, something along those lines, $550 to $600 from SubmitHub. So that's decent, but I still don't have too many genres enabled. I actually have the Note doesn't have too many genres enabled. So
that's a good thing. That means I think that you've got less than 15. Probably less than 10.
6.
Less than 10.
Yeah, I think I have like 6. Maybe singer-songwriter, indie, lo-fi, the new one that you added right now, the Jazz Hub, Chill Hub. And
the study beats.
Yeah, study beats and something else. Like, yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty decent. And plus, I have the $1 option, the middle one, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, I guess it's good. It's good. There's a lot of videos out there floating out, and I've done a lot of interviews with artists and whatnot. So it's kind of cool to talk about the other perspective as curators, right?
I can imagine.
So you guys are on that side, and I think artists don't often get an insight into what it's like being a curator on SubmitHub.
It is still. I think the comparison between the submissions that I get on email and submissions that I get through SubmitHub, if I was to compare the quality on email, and I'm sorry to everyone that's sending me an email, 90% of the stuff that I get is not that good. I don't want to be mean, but it's really not that good. And then on SubmitHub, I would say 80% of the stuff is not that good. But the quality overall, I think, is a little bit better. I think I'm very difficult to satisfy, so I really need to find this one track that really works for me.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm down to post it. I've been a little bit more into this. I've accepted this guy 3 of his songs, Voyager. It's this folk kind of post-rocky, a little bit Novo Amor kind of vibe. Really cool stuff. Very spacious, a lot of guitars, falsetto vocals, super gay shit, but I love it. I love it so much. It's so good. Just like with, Novo Amor? You probably know Novo Amor.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
You do. Stop.
I don't, but I think that gets to a point of just how much music is out there, and
true.
One interesting aspect, I thought you were going to say that the SubmitHub quality was going to be worse than your emails.
It is not. It is not.
I think the reason I had a feeling you were going to go that direction is just because SubmitHub has, in a way, leveled the playing field and opened the floodgates. That you don't have to have you don't have to hire a publicist. You don't have to have a major label backing you. You can be an independent artist who goes on to SubmitHub and sends your song out, and you're actually right there at a level playing field with those artists who have publicists and come from major labels. So it's got, I would say, two sort of effects, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. But one thing that's cool is we've got so many artists out there today, more than there've ever been, but SubmitHub allows all of them to have a little chance and actually get some attention.
Totally.
The drawback to that, though, is I think we're maybe moving into an era where the idea of breaking out and making it and really getting enough attention to blow up is becoming a more and more distant idea, right? If I flash back to the peak of music blogging, 2010, 2011, if you got picked up by 5 to 10 blogs and then you were catapulted into the Hype Machine charts and you were sitting at number 3, you were going to be booked for Coachella, you were going to play Bonnaroo, you were going to be all over the place, right? There was massive influence for getting picked up from this stuff. And I think today, the focus has sort of shifted to maybe Spotify playlists. I don't know. Maybe YouTube. I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't think there's any of us out there as curators who can actually cause that same explosion of following that was possible 10 years ago. And that's both good and bad. It sucks because you're not going to have these big breakout artists who are getting rich over it. But it's actually awesome because it means that if you're some small bedroom artist without much following, you can still pick up 1,000 true fans. Like that reach is just it's out there for more artists.
I'd rather be in that situation, to be honest.
I would agree to an extent with the fact that recently curators or YouTube channels or blogs cannot cause a breakout to an extent. Maybe not to an extent of playing at Coachella, but I think it's shifted to, if I have 50 million streams on Spotify, that means that I've done it. You can do the math how much money that is, but
that's a shitload of money.
That's a lot of money. I had a couple situations. I don't want to say that I'm solely responsible for that because I'm not, but I think I played a big role in a couple of artists, especially from this super underground lo-fi scene. Timmy's, Michal, Kina, Monty Data, and a couple of others. I've posted, for example, I'll give you an example. I posted a mix of a guy who didn't exist, right, on the internet. I mean, he did, but he didn't exist in the public eye. There was some struggles back and forth, but we're not going to get into it. The mix has 30 million views, okay, on my channel. The guy has over 100 million Spotify streams on his Spotify.
Holy smokes.
Another example, Kina. I've uploaded Kina before there were pretty much any uploads of Kina. Now there's hundreds or thousands. But I uploaded one song and I was like, this is nice, right? It has 16 million views and he has similar numbers on Spotify today. So
Crazy.
I think it's not really up to me. I think now the power of breaking out is, sure, within the curator's gesture, here, listen to this, but then people need to like it. Okay, they like it. We're going to listen for longer. We're going to share it with our friends. And then the gods of YouTube need to be like, okay, we're going to recommend it all over the place. Then
that's a big one.
Then it has 20 million views on YouTube, and then people know about it, and it just tinkers down to Spotify.
That's one of the reasons when you sort the list by influence on SubmitHub, so you can go to submithub.com/blogs and there's a list of 1,200 curators on there, and you can sort it by influence score, which is this bullshit number I've made up. But if you sort it by that list, you'll actually see that the top 100 are dominated by YouTube channels. Because at the end of the day, 1 million views on a YouTube video is really hard to compete with, especially these Spotify playlists just come along and they'll generate 500, 1,000 plays in a month if they're decent. And that just pales in comparison to fucking 30 million YouTube views, right?
Basically,
so I got to agree with you. YouTube channels still have a lot more power than many other curators do. But again, some of it has to do with the YouTube algorithm blessing you, right?
Yeah. It's difficult to achieve that, but if you kind of try to use whatever worked, change it up a little bit, maybe someday you're gonna hit that viral upload again.
Hopefully.
And I think that with YouTube, it is. I always can see in the comments whenever the upload gets a little bit more popular, people are like, "Is it on Spotify? Can I listen to it on Apple Music?" And you're farting, aren't
She
you?
really is, dude. That's why I'm like, yo,
It sounds exactly like having a kid.
dude. It is.
Farting. I think she needs to poo poo. Oh, my little boo boo. Yeah. Anyway, or I'm gonna finish the sentence. A letter poo. I think you can see that in the comments. People are searching for those things on Spotify, on Apple Music. Whenever something gets a little bit more popular, this is where the traffic goes. So I think that as soon as you're blessed by YouTube gods, then the artist you've promoted or uploaded is gonna feel that in a Spotify or Apple Music place. I have a great idea,
All right.
Jason.
Jesús.
Let's cut a deal.
Ooh.
Okay.
Do you want to be a sponsor of this video?
The way to pitch this, dude.
Who's this a great idea for?
For SubmitHub, it's a great idea.
For now, we're steering clear of sponsorships and advertisements like that. Okay. So, but it's something I'm happy to keep in mind, and feel free to reach out with a pitch.
Sure. Give me $100, and I'll be like, everyone should go to SubmitHub
And submit their
submit their music.
If they are.
I mean, I went so low with these. I've been submitting some pitches to some companies for the podcast. Obviously, it doesn't have as much of a response as regular uploads because people are used to that another sad song that they're waiting for, right? So whenever I do a podcast, they're like, "Oh, what is this?" Or they don't even know that it's the same channel, right? So the pitch. How did it crash again? What's going on? It's fine.
He's on his phone all the time.
No,
Are you kidding me?
I'm just reconnecting. It's all good.
It's a joke.
It's all good. I got it, but I don't think
That's
I can.
all right. I got something. There's got to be something new on Reddit.
Oh, Reddit.
It's just recording.
I check for mentions about SubmitHub on Reddit multiple times a day.
Okay.
Yeah, they grill him so much.
What? Why?
They grill SubmitHub so much.
Who did?
Don't they? I always see like in the chat.
Oh, yeah, people. No, but I mean, there was a post yesterday called "Why I Love SubmitHub" on of all subreddits. We Are the Music Makers, which is the one that always has it, and by and large, just pretty positive. I think more artists are getting used to the idea that SubmitHub is not a place to go for approvals. Yeah. SubmitHub is a place to go for ego crushing. No.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
No, but It's a really good place to actually have real listeners give you unadulterated feedback. There's no like filter for them. We don't know who you are. We don't know what went into your music, and we're going through so much music every day that we kind of just blurt out whatever our opinion is.
Yeah.
And I think for artists, it's actually difficult to get that from their friends, their family, their fans. No one's going to actually tell them how they feel about their song.
No.
So I think more people are coming to that as an approach.
Right.
When tackling SubmitHub. And I think it's a much better way to do it, because if you come into SubmitHub thinking you're going to blow up and you're going to get a bunch of coverage, you got your expectations totally in the wrong place.
Yeah. On the topic of curating and breaking out, I got to commend people or curators or channels or companies, because they're pretty big, like Majestic Casual, for example. Their policy as a label has always been never register anything that we release through Content ID, right? You know how Content ID works, right? On YouTube.
Not much.
Okay, so basically it's like that. I release a song and I put it under content ID. If anyone else releases it, I get the money. If anyone else uploads it, I get the money.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
This is what content ID does. Majestic Casual has never done this, right? They're like, we're releasing this. It's on Spotify. We're doing our upload. If anyone else releases it, if anyone else uploads it to YouTube, they keep the money, right?
Okay.
So what happened is, and I think more labels should be doing that. What happened is that a lot of people started re-uploading stuff that they released.
Yep.
Such as, namely, 2 Feet, right?
2 feet.
You know 2 Feet?
I've got 2.
It's pretty big.
Sorry.
Wait, can I hum something? I don't think I can. I can just from the top of my head.
Don't.
Anyway, so they uploaded it. It was a big upload, but then there were hundreds, thousands of other uploads of 2 Feet because people could do it and they didn't get any repercussions from the YouTube copyright system, right? So, and what happened in turn is that 2 Feet again has 100 million streams on one song and then 50 million streams on another, right?
Yeah.
Because people just kept flocking back into it because the awareness of the public was so large because of those re-uploads, right? So whenever, and I think that's where YouTube is starting to fail lately, because they're getting into this realm of reused content. I don't know if you've heard about it. They're getting into this realm of reused content, and
people getting demonetized because of it,
for
right?
that, yes. So basically, what it is that if I upload Jimmy Johnson dash, I don't know, Sweetheart, let's call the song, right? So Jimmy Johnson Sweetheart, if I upload this and tomorrow another channel uploads the same song with a different picture, different animation, different visualizer, whatever, but title it Jimmy Johnson Sweetheart, this is already a reused content scenario. So if it happens often, YouTube flags it and then demonetizes those channels that have a lot of uploads that are duplicates of others, right? And this is what I've been hit with, even though most of the time, I mean, now I'm monetized again, but most of the time, you get a permission, you get a license, the artist asks you to do it, but then as soon as you do it, if you're not the first one, if someone already has uploaded it, you're already in danger of getting demonetized. And they have implemented this just recently. So that's a little bit difficult for now to actually have these breakout stories. There's a bug flying around. To have these breakout stories happen again, such as 2 Feet, for example, namely. I've been going around it by trying to create a message in the upload instead of naming it the title of the song, right? So whenever I do an upload of a song called Voyager, I'll Fight For You, I just call it I Will Fight For You, and that's a message that I just put out in the title. The song is still that, and the name of the whole song is the first line in the description. That's how I go around this problem of YouTube flagging it as a reused content, because technically it is my own vision of whatever it is. It just has a backing track, right? It just has a backing track in the video, which I have a license for anyway, right? So that's how I've been going around it, and I hope they don't demonetize me again, because that week in December was pretty scary. I gotta say.
December. Man.
I gotta say, I think I've sent like 15 emails to those guys, and eventually, she farted yet again. How are you feeling, baby? Are you good?
Fart machine.
Yeah. She's been having a little bit of a stomach problem for like 2 days, but she should be fine. She's
Womp womp.
Yeah. He took a good whiff right there, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
good
She
whiff.
farted.
Right.
Oh man.
Anyway, I'm a little bit curious about some interesting SubmitHub stats. Right? You don't have to talk amounts; just talk volume, and whoever's smart is going to do the math. But just talk a little bit about unique users. How many submissions go through every day for the platform? What is the highest ever month in submissions, or what is the highest ever day in submissions? Maybe stuff like interesting stuff that you want or can share.
Right. Almost all of it's actually public, right? So
Okay.
if you go to submithub.com/blogs, you'll see exactly how many submissions we have had since launching. So it's been now 4.5 years. It looks like we got 10.85 million submissions.
Oh shoot! Holy smokes.
Now, an interesting stat there is we actually hit the 10 million mark last month.
Ooh.
Making
you do the math.
moves. I did already.
Yeah.
Making moves. Nice.
That basically, the acceleration is pretty crazy. Some of that I think is due to the fact that everyone's stuck at home right now.
Right.
So you've probably noticed your submission volume has gone way up.
Yeah.
Curators are better able to cope with that volume, right? There's always been a delicate balance between overwhelming people. It's actually one of the reasons why I haven't done a lot of marketing around SubmitHub, because that balance is important. You don't want to wake up and have 200 submissions every day.
Yeah. No.
You're going to get overwhelmed and give up. And actually, a couple of years ago, SoundCloud reached out to ask if we wanted to do a partnership where they would put a link to SubmitHub on every curator's SoundCloud channel.
Oh.
It's not a bad idea.
And well, the VP in charge of it ended up getting fired when they called.
Okay.
Well, you know how like they fired half of their staff, right?
Yeah. Oh
Boom.
man, dude.
But she was in charge of basically launching a curators portal for SoundCloud, where they were gonna take all of their top names and curators and whatnot and hold them up and like bring them up and make them big and influential. And that whole idea fell apart. But I was reluctant to do it for the concern that the volume of submissions would outweigh the ability to sift through them. So right now we're at kind of an all-time peak for two reasons. One, people are stuck at home, and two, I'm giving everyone a 19% discount, which is pretty substantial.
Yeah.
And so they're buying a shitload of credits.
Oh man.
The biggest day ever for submissions was on Friday. What is it now? It's Monday.
Wait. So last Friday.
Yeah.
This Friday.
Wow. Okay.
And there were, what am I supposed to say? Sure. There's like 35,000 submissions in the day.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Holy shit.
Yikes.
Okay.
The cool thing is how well all my code is able to handle this. That's the part that just like boggles my mind every day, right? Because there were, there's 35 submissions there. There were 16,000 votes in Hot or Not that day, or maybe more. And I'm just pulling up that chart. I've got all these fancy stats and graphs and numbers to back up my shit.
Right.
Friday, number of votes.
But you're talking premium, right? You're not talking standard.
18,500 Hot or Not votes on Friday. I'm not going to give you that breakdown between the two.
Oh,
I'm talking combined.
You're talking combined. Okay, got it.
But it's heavily slanted towards premium.
Okay. That's really good.
If you think about the limit of how many standard submissions you can send in, 2 every 4 hours. So the platform's growing at a healthy pace, I would say.
Very good.
And I think it's that balance of people are stuck at home, and we've also just got more people jumping into this curation game. Also opened up the whole influencer type stuff on SubmitHub now, so you can submit to influencers, Instagram influencers.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
For Twitch, actually.
Wait,
There's Twitch too. Yep.
You could technically take submissions to play on your stream,
dude,
and get $1 for it.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, obviously we're looking for stuff that gives value to artists, right? So this month last month was our all-time highest number for people who tried to sign up as an influencer. Right. So again, I'll give you that number. Let's see. Last month we had loading the chart. 414 people applied to join SubmitHub as curators.
Wow. Notice how he's saying applied to join, because it's
applied to join.
You don't just go on SubmitHub and be like, hey, I'm gonna just be a curator here and make money now. Jason needs to be like, you're worth it.
Dylan's gonna do it.
Dylan's gonna do it.
Dylan's the main man here. And we're hiring a couple more employees just because it's a crazy spike that's going on in terms of the number of people who are trying to join as curators. So last month was 414, and it looks like 91 of them were approved.
Yeah.
Most of them were Instagram influencers that were approved. This month we are at 440, and we're only 2/3 of the way through the month. So it's looking like we're going to probably have close to 600 applications this month for curators to join.
Nice.
Which is fucking bonkers, right?
Yeah.
In November, I can see we had 150. So,
Oh man.
in 5 months, the number of people applying to join as curators has quadrupled.
Holy
And-
man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So that's kind of an interesting stat. And then clearly not all of them get through. We go through a fairly rigorous process of trying to identify whether they do add value for artists, whether they're genuine, whether they actually have a passion for music. And as you can see, 75% of the time, our conclusion is kind of nope.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So
Some people are probably applying with close to no following, right?
no, almost none of those fit that, because I do some screening during the application process to make sure that you're meeting the thresholds for applying.
Okay.
So as soon as you paste in, you put in your Instagram link, and I just do a quick check to the Instagram API to see if you hit the minimum numbers to come through. And if you don't, then you can't apply. So the ones who are applying are actually largely qualified.
Okay.
The issues we're running into is people who look like they're maybe buying their followers, don't have engaged followers. We definitely get people who spin up curator accounts simply so that they can join SubmitHub, and they think, oh, it's easy. You're just gonna start a Spotify playlist and join SubmitHub.
Yeah.
I'll buy 5,000 followers on Fiverr, and boom, 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 here we go. And then it doesn't work out, and they wasted $5.
Totally.
So yeah, that's an interesting stat. What else? 1,200 curators about to come up.
I'm kind of wondering, are you a musician yourself?
No, not currently.
Okay, not currently.
I grew up, so it's like an irony of my family in that my whole family are musicians except for me, and I'm the only one making money from music.
Hilarious, dude.
Good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's funny.
no, I mean, both my parents are classical musicians, so I grew up embedded in that, and that also meant that as I grew up, I had to play piano, violin. I sang opera for
So
a
you are
decade.
somewhat of a musician.
I mean, I guess
I have a musical background.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Right.
I don't currently make music, and
Okay.
and I think that possibly if I do one day retire,
Right.
I will. I mean, I hope I get to retire one day. I will pick up music as a hobby.
Right,
If
okay.
that day were to be today, I'd probably make lo-fi study beats.
Oh yes.
It just seems a lot more simple to approach than like
Yeah.
a whole fucking indie
Yeah.
rock band,
Totally.
Yeah.
Take a couple samples here, throw a slick beat in, and then it's just about finding the right stuff. Like you find a nice trumpet solo from the 1960s, and away you go. Anyway,
Have you ever heard about Splice?
currently not a musician. I definitely play the keyboard, but it's on a
keyboard,
laptop.
Wait, she's biting.
She's
cables.
biting the cables now. She's mad.
Just grab
Oh,
her.
that's not
Just
good.
grab her. Just grab her.
I tell you, it still sounds like a kid to me.
Yeah, she is. She's 3 months.
Give her to me.
Give her to me.
All right.
We're back in business.
So many things going on.
Yeah.
I had another question. Right. So you are a software engineer, and that's why you came up. Well, not that's what you came up with SubmitHub. But are you a software engineer, or is everything self-taught? When it comes to
Entirely
coding?
self-taught. I've never taken a class.
Very interesting. Wow, that's admirable. That's really cool. Oh
thanks.
man, yeah. Anytime.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Should I? No, because I shh, baby, calm down.
Yeah.
I had something to say about filling the void or filling the gaps, or how to be entrepreneurial. I would say. I've always said that you make money on a couple of things. You make money on lazy people. You make money on stupid people.
Yep.
And you make money on solving problems, right?
Yeah.
So the reason I say on lazy people is that I have something that needs to be done and I just don't want to do it. I'm going to pay someone to do it, right? This is how you make money on lazy people.
Or you find something that's normally difficult to do, and it's easy way to do it, and then they
Sure.
Let's not poke holes in his 3 pillars of entrepreneurialism.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Second, 3.
It's not a watertight bucket per se. Lazy people, got it.
Yeah,
Second one, stupid people. So if something is super simple, but people just don't take the time.
Give her to me, dude.
Yeah,
give her to me.
If she's struggling, just let her out.
Yep.
Stupid people would be if something is super easy to do, but people just don't take their 5 minutes to learn how to do it, which also goes in with lazy. So that's like the same group of people, right? So stupid people who just don't do the research, like 3 seconds of research to screw the screw in or whatever. It's just a metaphor. And the third one is solving a problem, which is in this case I was getting to SubmitHub, right? Solving the problem, which was my submissions are super cluttered. I don't know what to do with it. Here is a solution that this guy made, and he's doing well. We're having it more simple, and everyone is happy. You know. So this is a call to people who have an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
If you stupid people.
No.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if you can find stupid, lazy people, you're gonna be rich, right?
Sure.
Come on.
Yeah.
Now.
If you can solve a problem if you can solve a problem for stupid and lazy people, you got it. You got it.
Wow.
You made it.
But if you see a problem, and there is many that could be solved, just let her over there.
Yeah.
There's many that could be solved, but just some people just don't think about them, and maybe we don't realize that these are problems that could be fixed. Just let
There
her.
we go.
I wish I could do that with my kids.
Just put her outside.
Bye.
There you go. Whoop.
If you can think of a problem and if you can think of a solution, that's usually good business. So all of you young kids and not so young kids, because my demographics are like 18 to 24 mostly, but all of
Good
you
age.
people in the prime time who are thinking about doing something with your lives, try to find a problem and try to find a solution and then sell this solution. And you have a good example of Mr. Jason who solved the problem for many of us, and he's making a probably decent living off of it.
As I guess one thing I would say as someone double the age of your demographic, no, I'm not yet. Mid-30s. Don't try too hard, right? If you're 18 to 24, don't try too hard.
Yeah. No. Time is on your side.
And actually, a pitfall for many entrepreneurs is that they go out and they try to force finding a solution to a problem. So they say, I want to be an entrepreneur. Great. Someone said I should try find a solution to a problem. So let me go out and do that. And I think the secret sauce to my success, if you will, was actually that the problem I was solving was one that I had. I wasn't solving someone else's problem. I was solving my own problem. And I think if you jump in and you try to solve someone else's problem, you're quickly going to get lost. You're not going to understand the problem, nor are you going to be passionate about solving it. You're just going to be thinking about trying to build a business and make money, but you're actually not thinking about the product and the idea behind it. So maybe a better way to approach it, if you're 18 to 24, is just go out and try to fucking cause a lot of problems for yourself.
Yeah.
Because
wow, that's a great. I very much agree with this. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And also at 18 to 24, it's a great opportunity to go out there and mess up, be it socially, professionally, whatever, because you're probably not going to build a successful business at that age. And if you do, it likely had a lot less to do with you and a lot more to do with just that super lucky unicorn idea you had. I'm thinking of Mark Zuckerberg, for example.
Yeah. Yes. Oh man.
Look, chances are if you're 18 to 24, you're not going to build the next multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
But by the time you're 28 to 30, then you're starting to figure out what you like to do. You got a better idea. You're like, well, I tried this and that sucked. I tried that. I hated that. But this is kind of cool. I enjoyed that. And so you're starting to move in that direction. So if you're 18 to 24, don't try force it. Go get a job.
Yeah,
because you'll learn very quickly what you like and what you don't like when you have a job. I mean, very few people like doing everything about the job that they have to do. I mean, I worked at Google for a few years, and that's the epic fucking who doesn't want to work at Google, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They fed me breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I went to the gym in the morning. I got fucking free massages. I had yoga midday.
Bro.
Epic, right? And the food was so good. You got these culinary chefs cooking you. Oh.
Someone's missing Google.
And I couldn't wait to quit.
Yeah, it didn't make you happy. Yeah.
That's the thing, because at the end of the day, I'd sit there being like, man, I'm stressing out over my work. I got a bunch of shit to do. It's all meaningless. What the fuck does this like? What's the purpose here?
Literally.
Why am I losing sleep over something that has no consequence in the biggest? So my job was figuring out how much to pay their executives.
Right.
The fuck is the purpose of that?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I know why I was doing it. And,
Of course.
And I did a fairly good job at it. But at the end of the day, when I sat back and I was 26, 27, and I thought, is this something I want to do? And the answer was no.
Yeah, exactly.
But I wouldn't have known that until I actually did it. So 18 to 24, go out and try a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah. I'd say as long, people, as your goal is being happy, do it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. It should never be because you want success or money or, I hate how success is determined depending on how much money you got. To me, that's not success. If you're happy, that's success.
I'm going to share, I think I haven't talked about it on the podcast yet, but the reason I even started the channel was I was actually solving a problem I was actually solving a problem for myself.
You were.
I was.
Totally were. Yeah.
Here's what it was. So I'm a musician from the start, right? I started playing guitar. There's 5 of them in this room since I was 6, right? I was playing guitar. I went through phases of playing songs for girls by the fireplace, through the fastest solo I could play, through jazz, through blues, then I evolved into making electronic music. Then I was trying to please everyone and making the glitchiest shit I could think of, and I wasn't happy with it. Then the problem was I started comparing myself with everyone. So I was developing this thing of like, I'm not good enough. Whatever I do is not as good as someone else's creation. So eventually I moved away from making music. I kind of stopped my project and I was just in this place of not doing anything musically. So the reason I made the channel, it was like, okay, I was very envious and very jealous of other people's success and other people's skills. So what I did was, I'm going to make a channel and I'm going to share the songs that I like, and I'm going to force myself to be happy that other people are enjoying those songs. Right? So I started doing that, and I was doing this for a year while still having a job, which I was fired from again. And at the age of 26, I sat down and I said to myself, I'm not going to leave this chair, because I lost the job too many times. I was too tired. I had too many ideas that it didn't align with the people who were working there. I was too cocky. I just, like the usual stuff, or like maybe the usual stuff of someone who's just not really in line with corporation ideas. So I was fired from a job like 3, 4, or 5 times. Yeah. And eventually, and I was really good. I was really optimizing processes all the time, but no one cared, Yeah. So eventually, I just stopped caring as well. I came into this one place, this financial institution that was like processing funds or whatever, investment funds. I got into this financial institution that was doing everything in this archaic way. Everything was done manually. People were using spreadsheets, but just with a mouse, clicking through, typing numbers in manually. And I came in, and I was like, why are you doing it this way? You're in Excel. You can do it so much quicker. And I spent like 2 weeks on making, because I'm lazy. So I spent 2 weeks on making this easier for myself. All right. And eventually I've got to a point where everything was 50% quicker than whatever they were doing. And I actually measured it against someone else that was doing the same thing. And I was like, yo, here's a solution to all your problems. Either we can do twice as much or you can fire half of the people, right? This is what I said. And they were like, oh, this is amazing. Oh, we're going to use it. Oh, please hold a meeting for everyone so they can learn this. And I'm like, okay, I'm holding a meeting for everyone. I prepared Excels for them. I prepared a PowerPoint presentation for them to understand it. They're like, oh, that's cool. And then the next day, everyone is doing it the same way they did yesterday. I'm like, why are you doing this way? And they're like, because I'm used to it, you know? I'm like, but this is so much easier. You can do it so much quicker. You could go for dinner in an hour if you want to. That's what I was doing, like ostentatiously. I was just finishing my work within 30 minutes and be like, I want a break now. Because no one cared, you know? And I
shouldn't have told anyone you were doing that.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I was just pissed that no one cared. And eventually I was fired. So when I got fired for whatever the fifth time, I sat down in the chair and I was like, I have no money. The channel has 2,000 subscribers. This is absolute insanity to sit down and decide this is going to be my job, right? And from day one, I was like, okay, let's try everything that I know and everything that I don't know. And it was Imager, Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, just trying to get people to subscribe, to get the idea that, hey, I'm doing this. Imager, I got a couple of viral posts that brought me like 7,000 subscribers in a day. Okay, I'm up to 9. Okay, well, something is starting. I put up the PayPal link. I was like, donate because I have no money, but I want to do this, right? First day, I got $100. Shit, I can do that, right? So I was keeping that. And for 4 months, I literally lived off of donations and people believing in the idea. And then month 4 of grinding, something took off. I got this first upload that started actually making money, that's starting to be recommended. So, and then here we are 4 years later, and this is my full-time job. I've done a label in the meantime. I'm selling merch. I've launched a podcast, and it's good. And I've actually got savings, and I don't have to worry about things. And it's great, but it required this absolute passion for this. But it started with solving a problem for myself, for actually being happy about another person being recognized and not feeling jealous over someone else's success, right? And right now, I start feeling, I think I've solved the problem for myself already, and I just need to find the time and the energy to start recording music again myself, right? So yeah, I did solve a problem for myself, and it actually turned into a job. So, so that's I think
and long may it last.
Yeah, that's a similar mechanism to what Jason did. Although you've already made money from Indie Shuffle before that, so it was a different kind of problem, but still solving a problem.
I did. I made some money from it.
Yeah.
Enough to work on it full time for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, we're not making much money at all.
Totally.
I'm making about $1,000 a month, I think, for Indie Shuffle.
Okay.
And that's including the $700 from SubmitHub.
Oh, okay.
Shoot.
Okay.
Yeah. Advertising, man. We still have lots of visitors on Indie Shuffle. Close to 100,000 uniques a month, I think.
Oh.
But the advertising revenue has dried up to nothing, which is fine. Fuck ads. They're stupid.
Yeah.
So our income from Indie Shuffle pretty much just covers the expenses. And a few people we have helping right out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember when I started, my goal was I just calculated the exchange rate between dollars and PLN, and I was like, if I make $700 a month, I can just get by. And that was my goal, right? $700 a month. I've had months, and I'm probably going to beep this out. But
$70,000 a month?
No. It's not that much. I'm probably going to beep this out, but I can tell you. So I'm going to blur my face when I say it. But I've had months when I make which for Polish reality is bonkers money.
Yeah.
It's absolutely stupid, because I can live by 700 and survive, right? So if I make
so
this,
now the trick is just save up that money so that on a rainy when YouTube actually eventually does permanently demonetize you.
Shut up. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I think
but I'm the type of guy who always prepares for that inevitability,
Totally.
right?
I saved up
riding high
enough
right now, but I'm like stashing that away for a rainy decade because I don't want to go back to Google. I don't want to go work for a corporate. And I know, I mean, even looking at a website like Hype Machine, which was basically the shit for about 3 or 4 years in the music industry.
What happened to it?
Well, God, a number of things, but I can go on my theories about why Hype Machine crashed and burned, but they don't have the relevancy that they did anymore, and they're definitely not making the money they once were. I have a feeling they were making well over $1 million a year at their peak in advertising revenue.
Right.
And at this point, they're surviving primarily on donations, and I think they're making about $10,000 a month for 3 full-time employees in New York.
Okay. That's not enough.
It's not enough. Plus,
York.
granted, I don't have full insight into their financials, and Anthony's an awesome dude, the guy who owns and runs it. But my understanding is that the 3 of them can no longer do Hype Machine full time. Like they're kind of looking for some other work, and they're now in their mid-40s. And it's sort of wondering what's next. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's why I say save for a rainy decade, because maybe that's what Anthony did as well. You're making all this cash.
I saved for a rainy 5 years.
Yeah. Oh shoot.
Yeah.
For now.
That's kind of the way I operate.
Yeah. I got 5 years. Like if everything goes to shit today, I can survive for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
good.
maybe.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows what going to shit means anymore?
Oh, dude.
Maybe money doesn't
Amen.
matter.
Yeah, I'm actually worried about. Can this bug just fuck off? I just squished it.
You got
him.
him.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah. I mean, I'm worried that money could become worthless in like a month.
Yo. Oh man.
That
I
would
don't
be
know.
shitty.
Would
That
I
would be
want
like
that?
the entire economy just goes to absolute oblivion, and nothing you have is worth anything.
It's kind of what's happening in South Africa right now. I mean, our lockdown is super intense, right? And our currency lost 50% of its value in 2 weeks.
Shit.
What?
Yeah. Shit's pretty hectic here. So we'll see.
But actually, that could work out better for you because if the
It
currency
does?
if the currency loses value and you make money in dollars, you make more of your currency, which in turn.
So I have, in a way, hedged my bets. So I've got some money here and I've got some money there.
Interesting.
And when one goes up and the other one comes down, I sort of stay in the middle.
Yeah.
That's the idea of hedging your bets, right? If shit goes wrong, at least you're covered on the flip side. So in this case, I have a house in South Africa. That's a chunk of money.
Yeah.
And the value of that house, if I were to now sell it back in dollars, is a fraction of what the initial value was. So in that sense, like, fuck, this sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm hedged.
That's good.
I'm hedged. So it only sucks a little bit.
Only a little bit. Well, we can just wait for better times. Anyway, I think we've covered really interesting topics today. How Jason started, how SubmitHub works. By the way, go to submithub.com/blogs/nourish. Is that how it goes?
Without the S, blog/nourish.
Blog/nourish, and give me your money. And also Jason. And I'm just kidding.
No, it's a bit weird. I wonder if your URL should be like /YouTube/nourish.
I think it should be /nourish.
Nourish.
I think it should be submithub.com/nourish. That's how it should be.
I don't think you're wrong.
Okay.
I don't think you're wrong. I got to think about the implications of that.
Yeah. True. You really want to.
But I don't think you're wrong. But also, man, what a clusterfuck for SEO. But do I care about SEO? No, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People still
SEO.
People still go to SubmitHub because they go to SubmitHub.
Yeah, almost all the traffic is word of mouth and links from blogs, and then you just put a 301 redirect on it, and you say, cool, well,
Totally, yeah.
/blog/nourish is now just nourish,
Yeah.
She's yours.
and Google sorts their shit out. Anyway, I'll save that for 2023.
Okay. All right.
There's a lot of stuff to do, and I only get a couple hours to code every day right now.
Yeah.
So until this crazy lockdown is over, things are moving a little bit slower. But Hot or Not is looking dope if you feel like checking it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check it today.
I'm paying people to write feedback on Hot or Not.
Oh.
Yeah. So the artists
you're paying what? Are you paying in premium credits or in actual money?
Yeah, in premium credits.
In premium credits, yeah.
But that's actual money still.
Sure. I mean, you can't switch them for money.
They can't, no, but they can send them to you and then you switch them for money.
Oh yeah, totally.
So at the end of the day, I mean, they're kind of just cycling around in the system, but they end up getting spat out as money. But people can buy premium Hot or Not submissions as well. And I'm basically taking the money that they spend on that and then just redistributing it to Hot or Not users.
Yeah.
So the effect is that if you send a song through on Hot or Not right now, you're probably going to get feedback from almost every single rating, which is kind of cool, for free.
So now Jason is going to give me 50 premium credits to distribute to you guys, so you can submit so you can submit your songs to me for free, and I'm still going to make the money. Okay. Thank you. I think we're going to wrap this up. That was a long one. That was an hour 15 almost.
You're going to have to chop and edit and do all those things that the YouTube people do to make it entertaining.
Yeah. Totally. Totally. So let me see what we've covered. We've covered how SubmitHub works, why it's the best platform for submitting music to curators. We've worked a little bit of an origin story of why Jason made SubmitHub, and a little bit of an origin story why I made Nourish. Let's see, what else did we cover? Yeah, being fired from jobs and why South African currency is going down. Anyway,
and pooping puppies.
And puppies.
Yeah, puppies.
I don't know if she pooped. I think she did.
She farty puppies.
I'm going to check outside. She cannot go outside right now because she's after a vaccine.
Yeah.
So that's why she's pooping inside. But she already learned how to
blame Bill Gates, man. Yeah. It's fucking vaccines.
I hope you're not one of those people. I really do.
Dude, come on. The virus comes from China, Chinese lab, owned by Bill Gates. He's the only one with a cure. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and the 5G.
Trying to vaccinate all of our children, won't vaccinate his own children. It's just clear as day to me.
Yeah, clear as day.
And obviously, 5G causes the virus.
Yeah, that's obvious.
I think Bill Gates is just jealous of Jeff. Taking his spot as the richest man. This was all his plan.
Those couple $1 billion make the difference.
Yeah, this was his plan. Man, I'll tell you, when he releases the cure for this, it's just a pill. You just take a pill. It's called the Gates pill.
The Gates.
The Gates pill.
It's called the
pill
Gates.
The pill Gates.
The pill Gates.
The pill Gates.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Jason. It was a very entertaining conversation, very informative. Once again, visit SubmitHub. Submit your music, get some placements, or don't. Maybe we'll catch up again in 2023 when SubmitHub is the largest website on the internet.
Yeah.
I think I got a long way to go to compete with Pornhub.
Yeah.
Pretty much. They're pretty
or Grubhub, or there's a few other hubs out there, but I mean, we're doing pretty well in the music space.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how that goes. There's definitely some spin out opportunities that I'm exploring as well.
Totally.
But I'm but one man with one machine and one set of coding fingers.
And one mission.
Coding fingers.
I don't know. What is my mission? Fuck it. Maybe I'll just go get high.
That was depressing.
Maybe just go get high. Yeah.
That was a bit depressing.
420, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So, and this video is going to go viral too because there's a puppy in it, right?
Totally.
Every time, dude.
Totally. Every time.
Look at her.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today. And I guess I'm waiting for you to say
goodbye.
Goodbye.